Oh, God. Well, hello, kids. Well, as you know, there's no good way, it turns out, to tow a Promaster if yours breaks down, if you got to tow it yourself. Um, because of the size of the van, it won't fit on anything you can rent from U-Haul. And because of the weight of the van, many of your vehicles won't have the stones to tow it. An empty 3500 extended is about 5,400 pounds. That's empty. And once you load it up with all your clown paraphernalia, you may be, and certainly if you have a Travato or something like that, you're at 10,000 pounds, and it becomes a towing hassle. And the reason is the width of the damn thing. It is as wide as a 1-ton pickup truck. It's 79 inches wide from the wheel well to the wheel well, or to the outside of the wheel. You understand. And the dollies that you might rent are not 79 inches, except one. Let's take a look, because I own such a thing. Okay, had one of my vans break down in Detroit the other day, so I had to get off my fat ass and get my fat tow truck working. And it is now working. But anyway, this is what you want to see. This dolly is made by a company called Steel Tow, S-T-A-E them, and it has some moniker, the super wide, the mega turd, the big boy, the something. And I think I paid $1,700 for it new, and it's all right. This company's been in business for a long time, and these are quite common. What's nice about it is they've been around long enough that the parts are common too, because I shredded a fender. We needed some other parts. We did some silly welding to put a mount for the winch on there and do some other things. But anyway, the basic idea behind this Magilla is that you drive or tow or drag or push up on the platter, which tilts. That's what this pin does. You see that red pin on the other side? That keeps the platter tilts down. You'll see when I unload this thing. You put it on, you put it in park. There's sort of a cup that grabs the bottom of the wheel, and then this strapping arrangement goes over top of it to hold it down. And because we live in a world of uncertainty, it ratchets down, but there's a safety chain that also goes through the hole in the lower control arm to, if all else fails. But in theory, any one of these three systems would hold it on. And in fact, just putting it in park on the sort of wheel cup there would probably work, although, man, I wouldn't want to be behind you. But anyway, what's important to know is that there's some legal restrictions on how wide a vehicle can be. So you can see we are right at the edge of the platter on this side, right up against the wheel well, or wheel, and you can see I have the tire at the very edge of the platter, and it is very close to the wheel. Now, what's important to know about this arrangement, this particular towing setup, is that it actually doesn't work, which makes this proposition very fun. So imagine, I shall stand here and I'll explain to you what the problem is. You're looking at this thing, and the platter turns. The platter that the two van front wheels are on, it has a pivot, but it can't pivot very much because it crashes into the upright for the dolly's tire. So essentially what you have here is a vehicle with 4 axles. You have that one, and then you have that one, and so on. And the problem is, once the platter has crashed, the thing can't turn. So you not only can't you back up with this arrangement, which you literally can't. You can back up about 2 feet before the thing crashes into itself. It jackknifes into itself. That's a fun. But you also can't turn very sharp because this wheel gets dragged, as you would expect, because it can't turn. So it's like, I don't know, imagine a car with a wheel in the middle. It isn't going to be able to turn. And when it locks up and drags, it actually picks up the rear of the tow vehicle and hops it over as it screeches and does this horrible stuff. I would demonstrate it to you, but it's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying. Now, of course, I have towed with this many times, but it is a white-knuckle nightmare because you can't back up and you can't turn. To make a right-angle turn like it, you simply can't. You have to swing it wide, or else drag the back of this thing from the frame. It's flying up in the air. It's awful. But we do it. Now, this is a short wheelbase van, so it's better. But still, I did it yesterday coming back from Detroit, and it's all highway. But that's the general gist of how this works. And what I'm going to do is unload this van now, because this van runs. It just needs an alternator. it was simpler to tow it than to do it in the monsoon that was, you know, in the parking lot of a truck stop. It was easier just to get the tow rig and go tow it. But the point is that, well, you'll see how it works. I mean, it works. And of course it works, the shorter the wheelbase of the vehicle you use, the better it works. And in theory, a normal tow dolly with a car with a narrower track the platter will be able to pivot more and it'll turn more. But you'll see, well, I want to get it off here. You'll see all the marks on here from this thing crashing into itself. It's you know, it is what it is. Let the fun begin.
Goodbye, Joe. We got to go, be all night. We got to go, be all night. I ain't gone, sweetest one, be all night. So we're gonna head one out on the back. Jam out across this pipe, let it go. Cause tonight I got to see like a sheriff. Because I've been to down the beginning. So we're gonna head one out on the back. To my door, place is closed. Give a come see it about that love. Yes, it's time, go home, wind me your back. Son of a gun, we're gonna head one out on the back. Jam it down across this pipe till it goes. Cause tonight I gotta see my sheriff. Because I feel good job every day. Son of a gun, we're gonna head one out on the back.
Come, I will show you how this works. Talk about endlessly fascinating. So you see, the platter lives on a pivot, and it pivots. But look what it does. See how it's crashed into the upright there? Crashes into the upright there. So that's its maximum turn radius, no matter what you do. Jesus. Well, it appears I've broken it. So there's of course that back here, and the platter tips down. Also, you can see that the ramp angle of how long the ramps are is pretty small, and you saw in the wide shot how close they are to the ground. The ramps, they bang into the ground quite often. So anyway, I hope that's been scintillating. That's your steel toe mega super poop dolly or whatever. Also, we had a lot of problems with the lighting and wiring. The wiring is run there, so when we're towing so wide with such a wide track, it ripped out the wiring and it ate the fender, and it is what it is. The better answer, of course, is to flat tow if you can do it. Again, you will have difficulty finding a trailer that has 80 inches between the wheel wells. 80 inches is, I believe, what this is. This big ass Ford F-250 diesel 4-speed 4-door, ding dang ding dang ding dang. All right, well, all that being said, sometimes you got to tow, and this is if it worked better, it'd be great, because why wouldn't you want to tow your front wheel drive vehicle with the wheels on the ground? I should mention one thing, an addendum, in that to make this work, you'll find different opinions on the interwebs about whether the steering column in the van or towed vehicle needs to be locked or unlocked. It turns out it absolutely does, because that inability for the wheels to turn makes the problem worse. The problem is that when you either have to leave the ignition on to have the column lock on a Promaster undone, or you have to turn the key on so the column lock releases and then disconnect the battery. That's the way to do it, which will trap your key inside the vehicle and prevent you from locking the vehicle in various ways. You get the idea. But anyway, yeah, it turns out that's the way to do it, regardless of what those old men on the interwebs say. All right, let's get this thing fixed. She's so goddamn lovely,